Happy Independence Day, everybody. And I am going to say Independence Day instead of the 4th of July for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's more than just a date, right? This is a very important day in the history of our country, but also because I realize that there are people that watch this channel from other places. I just heard from someone the other day that was watching from South Africa. And I know I have viewers that are over in the UK and Canada. So, Independence Day, if I say 4th of July, they'll say, well, so what? Yesterday was the 3rd of July and tomorrow's the 5th. Why aren't you celebrating that? I know it's not quite that bad, but I do want to say Happy Independence Day. I hope that you're celebrating in some way. I really don't know what I'm going to do today. There's a parade in Naples, but somewhere it said a 2-hour parade, and I'm not going to sit in the hot Florida sun. And believe me, in July, it's hot down here. It's humid down here. And so that's not a choice I'm going to make. I did buy a package of hot dogs and brats. I haven't had a brat since I left Wisconsin. In the old days, it used to be, if you'd say brat, nobody knew what the heck you were talking about. B-R-A-T, bratwurst. B-R-A-T, people would say brats. And I ate them already. It was a package of 6, and between the time I bought them until now, I cooked them up and I ate them. So I'm not even going to have a brat for 4th of July, Independence Day. But I do have hot dogs. And what's more American than having a hot dog on the 4th of July? And I have a funny story to share. You saw in the title, it said, I'm going bananas. And this is sort of an interesting story. I'm down here year round, and a lot of people that live down here, the majority of the people that live in my neighborhood are seasonal, meaning that they are what we call snowbirds. They come down in the winter and then they head back home, usually north somewhere in the summer. So I look out for a lot of people's homes. And there's one home that I look out for, and this is only the second time. I'm not real familiar with the house, and I was doing a walk around the whole outside. I check the inside and I run the water, and I just do everything, make sure that the air conditioning's working right, make sure there's no bugs coming in, that sort of thing. And I was walking the outside and I saw bananas on the ground, and I realized that there was a banana tree between the two houses. And I think that's so cool. I'm from Wisconsin, and to think that people can grow bananas in their yard it's just a really cool thing to me. But I hated to see these bananas, they're falling. And I mean, I just kind of gave it a tap, and all these bananas, they were way overripe. They weren't good bananas. But under this bunch was another bunch that was real dried out. And then off to the side, I saw a green bunch of bananas that weren't ripe yet. And they're not my bananas, right? I just hated to see them go to the waste. And also, there's an important thing. We have to be really careful around here because we have palm rats. Now, palm rats are not like these big black Norwegian rats. The palm rats, they're smaller, they're kind of cute, they're gray with little white tummies. But you don't want them, because palm rats, they, like any rat, they can start to cause problems, and they can, eat electrical wiring. If they get into your house, they can actually live in the wall. I mean, like any rat in any place. You don't think we have that problem down here in this tropical region, but we do. So the best way to keep them away is simply don't grow the fruit trees, because that's what they come for. On the fruit trees, you don't have their source that attracts them, and they go other places. And I thought this can be a problem. So I texted the people and I said, do you want me to take care of these bananas? Obviously, someone's letting them just go ripe on the tree and die, and someone should be eating those bananas, right? And so there was a little bit of, I have to admit, a little bit of a selfish motivation, because I thought, well, here's a green batch. I can clean up the old dead, rotted ones, but this green batch, I can probably take when it gets to the point where it's ready to ripen, and let it ripen, and we'll have fresh Florida bananas. Isn't that cool? And they got back to me and said, I called the neighbor and let him know. But at least they're going to be taking care of it. We won't have to worry about that threat. Now, this is not my community. This is actually across the highway from me. So I'm not really concerned. In my community, they don't allow it. They don't allow fruit trees in any form. You can't grow lemons. You can't grow limes. You can't grow avocados or mangoes or bananas, any of that. But there's something that is so, I don't know, tropical and exotic about growing bananas. I just thought it was really neat. It's one of those things. I've lived here 2 years, and I still really enjoy these things that people around here take for granted. You know, coconuts and alligators and palm trees. I just appreciate having that around me so much. And on the 4th of July, I just thought I'd share that little story for you. It has nothing to do with American Independence Day other than it's another unusual part of America when you think about our country and how vast it is. And you can do everything in the United States. You have the tropics, you have, rainforests, you have, mountains with snow and ice, and fabulous place. Greatest place on earth, isn't it? So I hope that yours is going to be just a wonderful Independence Day. Let me know what you're doing. How are you spending it? Let us know down below. I think throughout the U.S., how are you spending this day? I bet there's didn't someone do a book once? They picked a random day in the United States, and then they told stories how different people were spending that day. I'd like to hear how you're spending this very special day, the birthday of the United States. Let me know down below. As always, I encourage you to like and share the videos. Do leave those comments. If you haven't already, please subscribe by clicking my face in the corner. And if you haven't already, please ring that bell icon. That way you'll know when I post new videos. Thanks for joining me. I'm Mark, and this is the Average Me Channel.